Why did you choose Dubai as your second home?
I feel like when you're in Dubai, everyone here's a go-getter, aren't they?
Exactly.
They've moved here for a certain reason. They're trying to go somewhere.
Everyone's here hungry. I want to talk about Dubai women, Brendan. When you go out here,
I mean, there's just tens everywhere. But, like, beware innit? You better have a fat wallet.
I held a few house parties and the police came twice.
Did you say grand
Yeah,
I mean, that's a key word you just mentioned, is hunger. I know I'm at the gym tomorrow at that time. Nothing gets in the way of me going to that gym at that. Nothing at all. People have a fair idea when they look at my head now and see my two cauliflower ears and the nose. Yeah, I've been through the walls and the trenches in this sport.
Welcome to Bricks to Riches podcast. Today, I have a very famous MMA fighter with me, Brendan Loughnane. Brendan's an old friend of mine. I've known him for over 20 years. We've been trying to do this podcast for a long time. I happened to be in Dubai, and Brendan kindly invited me to his place. Brendan, I must say, you've got a very nice house here.
Thank you, and it's great to finally get this done. We've been trying for a long time, and it's a bit weird how it's happened in Dubai, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what the universe wanted us to do, didn't it? To get together in Dubai. But Brendan, can you tell me one thing, my friend? How did your journey start? Because I've known you a long time. We used to go out together to all the bars and clubs, and today you're very disciplined, very focused. And you were the former world champ, and now you're fighting for the world title again. You've done very well out of the MMA career. How did it start? Tell me from the beginning.
Right, so 15 years old, my next door neighbour used to do it. He used to do mixed martial arts, which was completely unheard of back then. Like, it was just a completely new sport. Yeah. We're talking about a sport here that's 31 years old. Like, when you look at football and boxing and all that, hundreds and hundreds of years, aren't they? So we're looking at something that's still in its infancy now. Just kind of like was watching his fights, respected him. He was respected in the area, and was like, he's the guy. And I thought, right, let's give this a go. So he's bundled me in the back of the car after school one day. Come on, lads, you're gonna go and give this a go. And mate, I'm 34, still at the peak of my career. Had over 50 fights all around the world against all great opponents. I'm about to fight for my second world title. It feels like it's all just happened in an instant.
What date is your world title, the second?
29th of November in Riyadh.
Looking forward to it. I can't watch you live.
It's about time.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it because I've seen your fights on YouTube, on television, and the last fight that you won $1 million. That's phenomenal. And I was so happy for you, but when you've got a local lad from Manchester doing so well, and us Mancunians, we support each other. Every Mancunian wants each Mancunian to do well.
It's true. It's true. There's a great camaraderie in the city. It's unbelievable.
The community spirit.
Amazing, and like all the people, like over 300 people, made the effort to come to Madison Square Garden that night. If you could write it down on paper, like, you're going to fight for $1 million at Madison Square Garden, you're going to be main event against one of the best fighters in America and go in and knock him out. Like, it's some Rocky story, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like a kid's dream come true.
Yeah.
It's like a movie scene, isn't it?
It's like, it's the most famous arena on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I've been to
Madison Square Garden. Cool place.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah. How did your life change after you won that money? Obviously you commanded respect from everybody in the fighting industry, about your friends and community, because your name came on the map.
I feel like it solidifies yourself, and it solidifies you as a world champion. It's something that I always wanted next to my name. There's a massive quote in the gym that I train at about how to become a world champion in the Phil Martin Centre, and it's just like, you'll have to post it on here because I know you can go in and out and stuff. Post this quote because it's incredible. And I used to see that when I used to train all the time. And at the end it says, you have to do all this if you want world champion next to your name. And I did. I followed all that. I worked my ass off, and I just, didn't take no for an answer. Doors were closing left, right and centre, and I just found another one, and even when all the doors were closed at one point, I just dug through the wall. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that's kind of how success comes, I believe now.
So Brendan, the message is never give up, keep on going forward. You just have to be persistent and consistent, don't you?
Find a way.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
Don't give up. That's a motto, isn't it?
Like, I mean, you're doing a lot of people now on this podcast, and a lot of people that have done well with their careers and their lives, and you'll get the same message of everyone. We're just resilient. Exactly. We don't take no for answers. No's not an answer. It never is. It's like, what do you mean no? There's definitely a way. And that's what we did. We all found a way.
But one thing I must say from knowing you before, you were a world champion, and now you've kept your feet to the ground. You've been very humble. You're the same Brendan when I used to go out and panacea with you. You're the same Brendan now. You give people a lot of love, respect, kindness. Humility is the key in you. And I think that's why God's blessed you. Because some people, when they become world champion or they make some money, they think it goes to the head and they can't handle it and they get arrogant, but you're still the same person, which is commendable.
Oh, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Well, I believe I've got good people around me. You know, I've got a really good mum who's like been there from the start. I've got really good family. I've had the same coach from day one who's taught me my first punch all the way to now. We've got an amazing bond. So I believe that's the key, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they get like a few quid or they become world champion, they kind of like, right, and they move into different circles. Whereas I've kept mine really tight from the beginning.
Like whenever I ring you a message, you always respond immediately. Someone else who suddenly made it big, they might think, shit, I don't need this guy anymore, they ignore you, but you've been always on it.
No, we've had some great time together.
Exactly.
We've got the same friend circle.
Exactly.
With Joe and Kane and all these people that we've just been mentioning. So who am I to start ignoring messages now because I've made a few quid? I mean,
exactly. Some people do that. That's what I'm saying. It's commendable that you kept your feet to the ground.
I mean, that does blow my mind a bit because, again, where we're from, you don't do that, do you?
Exactly.
How could I look you in the eye, bumping you in Dubai, ignoring your WhatsApps?
Exactly.
I don't know how people do it.
Some people do it. It's arrogance, but then they always fall flat on their face. I'm a strong believer because you're a genuine person. On the next world title fight, you're going to smash it. And my prayers are with you that you get that world title back and you get that $1 million as well. And with that $1 million, I'll help you invest it in property.
Well, I hope so.
I'm a property expert. I'll help you double it in property.
Well, you know what? I've been winging this property game, mate. Honestly, I've been absolutely winging it, like just listening to advice, people like yourself and people all around the world. And I've got a good network out here now in Dubai. And, you know, we're from Manchester.
Yeah.
That is our roots. We love Manchester.
Yeah,
you know, I rep it all the way. But, you know, when you're here and you're in these kind of... I feel like Dubai, just to move off subject, I feel like when you're in Dubai, everyone here's a go-getter, aren't they?
Exactly.
They've moved here for a certain reason. They're trying to go somewhere. And I feel like you're surrounded by like-minded people here,
Exactly.
right? Home will always be home.
Yeah.
But everyone's moved here to get after it.
Everyone's here hungry. And even
Starving.
going out, even the women when they go out. I want to talk about Dubai women, Brendan. When you go out here, you see some really pretty women. I'm a single guy. I look at them, and then when you get in a dialogue with them, you realise they're just after money. Then I just run away because obviously I don't pay for it. But everything's transactional in Dubai. Sad.
I'm also a single man, and it's also hard out here, isn't it? We were just talking about. I mean, there's just 10s everywhere, isn't there? Let's just call a spade a spade. There's just 10 out of 10 women everywhere. But, like, beware in it.
Exactly.
You better have a fat wallet.
I was telling my friend last night when I went for dinner, like, Dubai women are like Bugatti, and London women are like Rolls Royce and Ferraris, and Manchester women are like BMW 7 Series. So that's all right.
What about Liverpool?
Liverpool are good, but they dress up well with the makeup.
What would we say they are? What car would you... What analogy are we going for?
I'll put them a Mercedes E-Class. But you can't beat Dubai. Dubai women are phenomenal.
It's vicious though, isn't it? Because as soon as you have half a chat, it's how much at the end, isn't
exactly.
it?
So it's it's very transactional.
I mean, that's
we're not used to that. We go out naturally because of our charm, personality,
charisma. We thought we had a bit of chat, but here...
Over it's all about dough. It doesn't matter what you look like.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Over
Get
here,
your dough out.
There's a saying that in Dubai, after the age of 30, it doesn't matter if you're handsome or good looking, it's how rich you are. That's the rule of Dubai.
I mean, over here, like you were just chatting about them cars, Bugattis and it's just bog standard. You don't turn your head.
Exactly.
You don't even turn your head anymore, do you?
Exactly.
It's like,
There's a lot of wealth here. There's most millionaires in the world in Dubai now.
Is there? Is that
more than Monaco, more than initially it used to be London because of the sanctions, the Russians, they left. So the most millionaires in the world are in Dubai.
Well, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like when you're driving about, it's absolutely nuts. And G-Wagons, bog standard.
Exactly.
Everything's bog standard. Manchester, you like that, aren't you?
And if you go out for a meal, it's like if you go to a nice fine dining restaurant, Nobu, Zuma, it's 300 quid a head. That's without alcohol.
Minimum. Yeah.
Like alcohol, just normal food.
Like, listen, I say to people, if you want to move here, you've got to have a few quid about you because you won't last long. It's sink or swim, innit?
Exactly.
Dog eat dog.
Or come here and work really hard.
Yeah.
Because there's good opportunities in Dubai.
There is.
You can make some serious money. There's
great networks. I was just to the point I was touching on before, like when I came here, right, there's a Manchester community here too.
Yeah.
And everyone just gets around you. Right, I've got this car for you just so you get yourself on your feet. Right, I've got this gym. Come here, use it whenever you want, bring whoever you want in it. And everyone just like gets around you and like wants you to succeed, don't they? And that's what I love.
That's a good community vibe. Yeah.
It is like that here. You know, people do want you to stay here with them. It's like they'll come over and they want you to swim. They don't want you to sink. So they help you.
So Brendan, tell me this, as a fighter, going back to the fighting, why did you choose Dubai as your second home? Because obviously Manchester boy, why Dubai? Because obviously you're in Manchester, Dubai, Thailand when you're in training camp. Is it because Dubai is between Thailand and Manchester? Or why?
So, Alex Lee, you know Alex Lee, my mate?
Yes,
Alex Lee from Manchester. Yeah. So, funny story really, when I first ended up in Dubai, I never had any intention of coming to Dubai. It was never on my list of destinations to travel to. And he was having a stag do during COVID. Tom Curl, all the lads came here. 52 Manx flew here together onto his stag do, straight check into the Five Palm. Yes.
I've been there. Five Palm's a proper party place.
For people that don't know, just Google the Five Palm, right? And then think about 52 Manx in there, That was carnage, I'd just been told that the PFL was off. No fights for a year and a half. You know, COVID shut America down. That's where all my fights are. So I was like, right. So we just went wild in there. We had a great time. And then I remember like 6 or 7 days.
Did you go to the penthouse every night?
Obviously. We just did a circle. We went pool, penthouse room, pool. We didn't even leave there, I swear.
For 5 days?
3-4 days. I've not seen outside the hotel yet.
Really?
That's how bad it was. We didn't need to. We had our own DJ. We had our own friends in there and all that. So we had it all going. But anyway, so then got to the end of the trip and England went into lockdown. It was just the timing was mad. And it was like, go home and sit in your bedroom and get locked in or just like wing it in Dubai. So I ended up staying here 7 months until my fight then, and then the fight was back on. So I ended up just randomly staying here 7 months. And honestly, I had the best time, you know. I did, like, these were real easy with the precautions that they were taking with COVID. Like, it was being very sensible about it. So you were allowed to freely move around, you know, you had to take certain precautions. But compared to England, where people were just locked in the house, weren't they? And getting
England was very strict. I actually held a few house parties and the police came twice.
Did they? Did they have you?
No. I just said I'll shut the party down. They gave me a warning. They gave me a 10 grand fine, that was it.
They give you a 10 grand fine?
Yeah, second time. They said you're a repeat offender, you keep on having parties. so they gave me a fine second
The COVID police got you?
Yeah, COVID police, They turned up. Once they come and had a party and I hid everyone in my house, I said, don't move. But they said, can we have a look around? And then I had to shut the party down.
Did they come in and start seeing everyone?
They didn't have a warrant, but I just said you can have a look around.
And they were all just in there?
Exactly.
So that's what happened, and then I went and had the fight in America, and then I went back to England. I thought, wow, I missed Dubai a bit here. I thought, I liked it over there. So when I won the first world title and I made a few quid, I thought, right, I'm going to buy myself a place. I probably looked at 25 places, and this one stood out because of the view. You can see the whole
view.
It's incredible, isn't it? Especially from my bedroom as well.
And you're not far from Dubai Mall.
So I've got the Marina Mall, 5 minutes walking, and then you go down there, you got Dubai Mall, about 15 minutes, Emirates Mall, roughly the same. I've got TK right there, I can see it from a balcony, and the Marina's across the road. I've got everything local. Like you just said, it takes ages to get anywhere, doesn't it? I want to be within 5 minutes of everything, because it's rough. When you stay in the wrong place in Dubai,
it's snookered.
It's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, that traffic's a nightmare.
It's wall to wall, gridlock. And you know what? We're not even in season yet. Imagine this in December.
When does Dubai get busy? I thought it gets season like end of October till February.
You wait till November, December, January, February. It's going to be nuts. If it's like this now, and bumper to bumper, well, how are they going to fit this over however million come here? You know
well, that's good for you because you've got property here. That means the property price will go up.
I hope so,
mate. The more value of the property increases.
Well, that was the plan, you know. I put my eggs into Dubai. I'm fully invested. I've got a golden visa here because I've invested quite a lot in the city. So, for me, I'm all in. I love it here. It's got a good vibe about it. I don't think I could do all year round. Like you say, it gets unbelievably hot. But it just so coincides that it's English summertime.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like perfect.
I think after Easter, it's a good time to leave Dubai. After Easter, it's good to go to England, Europe.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
that's about the time to leave.
Yeah, because it's too hot there.
Sauna.
And a lot of the Emiratis leave then as well.
It's empty.
Yeah.
It goes from this to a ghost town.
Exactly.
But not so much now. I've heard people can't afford to just leave now. They've got full-time jobs here, haven't they, and stuff. Like, if you're in a full-time employment, you can't just say, oh, I'll do the good bit, but I'm leaving for the bad bit. So it's kind of busy all year round now.
Okay, and also, Brendan, tell me this, when you're going back to the fighting, when you fight, and then whenever you've had a setback, a loss, how have you dealt with that? Because that's been that can take a lot out of you mentally, when, like in business, when there's a recession, maybe it's before your time. Because in my career, I've bought and sold over 5,000 properties, over £5 billion worth. Right. So sometimes when you have a setback, it can help disturb you mentally And then how do you deal with a setback like that when you lost the world title?
Yeah.
How do you deal with it mentally?
Yeah, good question. I think I've had 3 major knockbacks in my whole career. I've had thousands of little ones, obviously, injuries, this, that. But the 3 major ones were back in, must have been a decade ago now. I fought for my first world title. And I fought a guy called Tom Ducan. I was undefeated French guy. And nobody thought anyone could beat him. Yeah. And even when I turned up there, the reporters were like, "Oh, mate, how come you've took this?" Proper, wrote me off that I could ever win it. And I went in, I beat him comfortably over 3 rounds. And then they gave him the decision. And it was that was my first heartbreak in the sport because I knew I won. It was a very, very good...
people know boxing's corrupt, yeah? Does MMA seem corrupt? Because if you won it, that means the judges will be in favour of a French guy.
What happened was, this is why I respect David A. I don't even know him, right? But he stood up on the camera and was like, "Nah, that was a disgrace." He's supposed to be reading the script and be like... But he was like, nah, that's a disgrace what just happened to him. There was a massive riot. They smashed the whole arena up. There's bottles flying in there.
The French people? Or?
No, the English, obviously, because of what they did to me, and the Irish. It was in Ireland, this fight. Right. So that was my first one. That took about good 7 months to even want to do anything again, because I thought, wow, I just sacrificed all that. Flew to America for the first time, starved myself to make the weight, and then went and beat this kid that no one thought could beat, and then they just give it him. I thought, oh man. So that was a tough one.
Why didn't you do a rematch with him?
He retired.
Did it?
Yeah, he was...
He must have paid the judges off.
He knew what he was doing, this fella. He was the golden boy. I knew what I was up against. I knew I was going in against the guy, do you know what I mean? But I was well prepared.
The only way you could have beaten him by knockout then.
Yeah, and I nearly did.
Like Dubois did to Anthony Joshua the other week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. And then the next one then was Dana White. I went on to the Contender Series. Yeah. I ended up on this reality TV show, and
hoping to get UFC signed up.
Yeah. Well, I'd fought in the UFC previously, but they said, right, if you want to come back, go through this show, even though I was way more experienced than going on that show, but I thought I'll take it. You know what I mean? And then they give me a really tough opponent, and I went in there again, dominated him, won every round, and then at the end of it, they were like, "Oh, you didn't do enough," kind of. It was like, what? And the whole world was got on my side again. Yeah. I feel like all these little things just made me the people's champion because I was just not giving up. And then after that, when Dana White says no, it's no. He runs the whole sport. He runs the sport. It's like Dana's the guy.
He's the mafia of...
well, we don't know about that, but he runs the sport anyway. Yeah. So it's like, right, he said no. Yeah. At that point, all the doors are closed, mate. What do you do now? And that was 2019. So I'm like, right. And then someone just said, "Oh, there's this new one coming, and they're going to give away $1 million if you win it." And I was like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, they're going to give $1 million away." So I was like, "All right." So I entered it.
Good. So that shows resistance. You didn't give up. I'm going to open another door for you.
And I couldn't let someone say, "Right, you're over now." I was not accepting that one man is going to determine my destiny. I thought, nah, no way. So I rolled the dice. Yeah. Ended up fighting on the show. Got all the way to... No, sorry, and then COVID happened. So then I had a year and a half. Yeah. They signed me and then said, "Sorry, you can't do nothing for a year and a half. Can't earn nothing, can't fight, can't do anything." I was signed up. I was like, wow. So then I went all the way through that. Then they came round, knocked the first guy out. Second guy, smashed him. Third guy, I fought a 21-0 guy from Khabib's gym. Yeah. Khabib actually did a breakdown on the fight saying, "Oh, he's like his best mate. He's in that gym." I ended up fighting him. I ended up breaking my hand before the fight. And it was like, right, I've got to roll the dice here. It's $1 million. Ended up fighting Movlead with, it was, just had a plate in it 6 weeks before. The guy told me, "You're not even allowed to hit a bag for 3 months." And I fought this guy 6 weeks later. Split decision, lost. Start again, back down the tree.
Is that when you lost the world title? Yeah?
No, this was the first loss.
Oh, yeah.
So then I entered it again and I was like, nah. I kicked the door down again and then beat everyone that year. Ended up fighting the main guy in America in the final, Madison Square Garden, $1 million on the line. And I literally just looked at him and said, "Look, lad, the amount I've had to go through to get to here." I just looked at him. I felt sorry for him, mate, because I was just like, "I'm willing to die, bro. I don't think you understand." And he's like, "Yeah, me too." I went, "No, but I mean it. My options are they take me out of this in a body bag or they give me the belt." That's how I look. And it was a tough fight. And then it ended up going to the trenches in the 4th round. They ended up knocking him out and making my dreams come true.
Good. You deserve it because you're persistent. You don't give up.
Never.
That's what the key to success in any profession. that I tell even my students on property: never give up, be focused, be determined, and be disciplined.
I mean, let's say I would have given up when Dana said, no, I wouldn't have a couple of million now, I wouldn't have these properties, I wouldn't have anything. Let's say I would have given up that first world title and just said, oh, too many people are quick to give up. You see the diagram, they've seen the picture where the diamond's just behind and the guy's got the... It's like, mate, what do you get by giving up? I mean, the options were to give up, well, there was nowhere to really go, but I just found a way. You've got to make a way sometimes, haven't you? You've got to dig a road if you have to.
And there's a saying in most scriptures in the Bible and in the Quran that God helps those who help themselves. So basically, if you don't help yourself, if you want to be rich, for example, I'll talk as a businessman, you can't stay in bed all day, sleep for 15 hours. You have to go and work hard. And sometimes I'm tired and I get up at 6 and do like 15 hours graft. I don't want to get out of bed, but you have to go and work hard. You have to work smart. Same with your profession and your career. You have to put the effort in, don't you?
No, if you were to put the hours in, and especially the people that I've fought and all over the world, I mean, we're talking about Bisping and Leon and all these. I've had more fights than them now. Like, I'm 30-5 as a pro. Like, I fought everyone all over the world. You name it. Like, I've been all over. And
you're not scared of picking. You'll take anybody on.
Like, even the next guy's 18-0 from Khabib's gym. Another one. Yeah. I'm like, yes, sweet. Let's have it.
You're not
like,
scared.
Not scared of anyone.
Fearless.
Yeah, like, I'm not scared. What's taking a dig? I've took thousands.
So when you have a setback, what do you do? Do you just reset? Do you go and talk to someone? Do you talk to your coaches? How do you deal with a setback?
I feel like the more you take, the more resilient you get. I feel like I'm bulletproof now.
Do you analyse each setback and think, well, I shouldn't do that next time? Because I had a mentor, Imran Khan, who was the captain of Pakistan cricket team. Then he was at Oxford University. Then he's the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Wow.
One thing he taught me was that whenever you have a setback in life, always look where you've gone wrong and then analyse it all and then make sure you don't do that same mistake again.
Well, nah, not really, because a couple of them were out of my hands. When, like, the decision when they give it him, what could I do there? How can I look where I've gone wrong? And then, so certain ones...
Could you not, like, put a lobby together for impartial judges or something?
I mean, it's all... Once the judge goes, boom, 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 it's well hard at that point. And you look like a sore loser.
Yeah.
You look like a sore loser. But what was lucky about that one, it was on Channel 5, the world watched it, so everyone got behind me then. And it kind of made me the character I'm now. I am known as like the underground king in the MMA now, where people are like, that kid is hard, mate. He don't give up. Like, even when doors were shutting left, right and centre, world titles were getting given other weight, I was just like, nah. And I'm still here, 34 years of age, fighting the best guys in the world.
Well, how long do you think it'll go for? How long does an MMA fighter's lifespan? Like, boxers go up to 40.
No chance. 40?
Yeah, boxers.
Nah, you won't be seeing me in here at 40, mate. Let's get this one out of the way. This is a big one for me. This is big for my legacy. Like, people from that gym and, you know, the history and the aura that they bring to the cage. I really want to get this under my belt and get another title, one over that shoulder, and then see where we go from there. So I just reassess after every fight now. I just reassess because, you know, they say, you know, when you've made a few quid, things change, don't they? Like, I'm not that 21-year-old or a 15-year-old that was running around starving for it. Now I'm like mature.
Bless you. Now, if you look at, for example, recently, 2 weeks ago, Anthony Joshua fight, he's worth a lot of money, in excess of 400 million. He basically walked into that ring. I was there right at the front row, walked into Wembley in front of 96,000 people. Before he walked in, you could see his body language. He didn't have the drive or determination. You didn't have the hunger. So some people like God, you're comfortable now. After a few more fights, you might think, oh, God's blessed me with enough. I don't need to fight. I
mean, that's a key word you just mentioned, is hunger.
Yeah.
Hunger. Once that goes, right, you have to leave it there.
Yeah.
Like, I'll leave training today. I don't feel up for it. Or once that stuff starts happening, or guys that used to beat up in sparring start beating you up, things like that. It's like, hunger's a real thing.
You have to have the drive, don't you? That's what
my coach taught me a saying from back in the day, right? And it applies to the whole of life. And he said, skill will beat strength. So the big guys will always get beat by the skillful guys. But he said, will beat both. Yeah. So you might get a guy that just looks at you and like, I'm not losing today. Yeah. But you might be way more skillful and stronger than him. But they're just dogging him. Yeah. They want to change the family's lives.
Yeah. Determination.
I'm fighting guys from the favelas. Yeah. They're coming to me and they're fighting me for $1 million from the favelas. And you're like, they're hungry. Yeah. You can just look at them and tell this is everything to them. So It's an intense thing that I'm in.
And also do with MMA, Brendan, anything can change in 1 second because people are different skill. Like you might be good at boxing, you might be good at martial arts. Somebody might, like Khabib, might be good at wrestling. So it's such a barbaric sport. And you said you're not scared of dying in the octagon, are you?
I mean, listen, I said on that night for $1 million, what would you do for $1 million? Remember when you was in primary school?
Yeah.
And you say to all your mates, what would you do for $1 million?
Yeah.
Like, that was my moment.
Yeah.
Like, I remember walking to the arena and looking at Madison Square Garden, big poster of me outside, and that I thought, nah, I ain't walking out of here skin. There's no way.
So that inspired you more?
Yeah, man.
So
$1 million.
And also, you're a nice guy. What about when you hurt people, do you not feel bad? Because obviously, I know you personally, but somebody, like, say, if you went and hurt someone badly, you wouldn't feel good about it, would you?
I mean, the last guy I fought hurt badly. The one before, badly. He's going to be scarred for the rest of his life. I did a flying knee and it cut him right down the middle there.
Yeah.
And that scar's never going to heal. And I even texted him not long ago. Like, I fought him probably 4 months ago now. Yeah. And I just texted him about 2 weeks ago, how are you getting on? How's the cut? And just to check up. But yeah, it does play on your mind sometimes because you think, that guy's got to go to his family and kids. I don't want to hurt no one.
Exactly.
I actually pray for the other guy. I always pray for the other guy. That's a lot of people don't know that, but even in the changing rooms, I mean, there's footage of it which I'll show you. I always get my team in a huddle, and I do like the same kind of prayer, like, look, thank you for putting me on this stage again. God bless him and God bless me. Let's just hope we get out safe, and that's it. Like, I don't want to hurt. Why? Exactly. You have to be a psychopath.
You're a prize fighter. You're here to make money and a legacy.
And I mean,
you're the one that Manchester's best MMA fighter.
Yeah. And one other one, touching on what you just said there, like it does touch on your heartstrings, because the guy that I beat for $1 million, he's got 4 kids, right? And we were in the back at Madison Square Garden, and I just knocked him out. They put us both in the same room.
After beating him,
the medical room, you know, where they're checking your cuts and all that. And I was looking at him and I was like, look, mate, because, you know, I can't tell you how much he got, but wow, the difference is astronomical. Basically, one guy's breaking even and one guy's made it. And his 4 kids come running into the room, and they were like all crying and upset. You can imagine, can't you? So I've gone to like, and they were like, get away, like I was some monster. Do you know what I mean? And that hurt me for a while. I was thinking, wow, because you
the kids probably didn't understand.
No, they don't, obviously, but you don't think that at the time, do you? You
exactly.
look like a monster to these kids that you've just done that to their dad.
Yeah.
So it's a lot deeper than what people think. It's like, it's a martial arts fight, but it is a fight at the end of the day. And you are using all your weapons. People get severely hurt. And
also, what about, Brendan, when you're on the street, like walking, let's say if you're in Ibiza, on Saturday night in the summer, you're walking with me, let's say in Pasha Club, and someone started on me, what would you do? Because obviously you go batter them, what would you do then?
You know what it is? I couldn't tell you the last time I had a street fight.
Well, say if your mates, I was out with you, walking just at the bar, and someone just twatted me, what would you do? Because you could disarm them in 2 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much, I mean...
What would you do in that circumstance?
I think people have a fair idea when they look at my head now and see my 2 cauliflower ears and the nose, and then they just kind of leave my company alone, because you know it's a long night, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You think, hang on a minute, if I hit him, he's next to him. It's not going to be good, is it?
Exactly.
So, and I've got uber confidence. I can sit in any room with any man now, because I just know. Like, I'm not saying I'm unbeatable, but I know I've got the confidence to sit in most rooms with most men and be like, right, if it goes off in here, I'm all right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But a wise man uses the pen, the might, rather than the sword.
Obviously, no.
To avoid those.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a shoot. I don't. I just I'll just walk up to someone and I'll front it properly though. Yeah. Like if someone's kicking up, like, listen, mate, chill out. And I'll just look at you like, chill out, because this ain't going to go good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get in trouble. Happened the other night. I was out here a couple of weeks ago. Loads of companies started surrounding a table that I was on, and I was just like, I'm off. And then I heard the next day there was a massive riot.
Really?
Yeah, I could just kind of sense it. You can sense it, can't you?
The best way to stay away, you're a prize fighter.
I don't need any of that.
You don't lose your fighter, your license. You get a license for fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. No, it's just the publicity that comes with it, and why do I want to be knocking out civilians?
Exactly, it's not worth it. And they're not trained. There's only a small percentage of the world that actually knows how to fight.
And people who don't train really think they can fight. They have no idea how much they can.
Yeah, especially when they're pissed.
Oh, I've seen it all. Windmills, 2 guys shouting at each other. They start closing their eyes on windmill, and I think, wow. You see it all? Yeah. Of course, you.
Do you not stop it?
Outside Manchester, outside them clubs, mate, they close their eyes and swing.
There's a fight actually outside the that bar, what's it called, on Deansgate. Someone sent me a video.
Which one?
With throwing chairs, that place where you used to be in the living room, what's it called?
You're talking about a Manchester fight. It'd be happening right now as we speak.
Exactly.
It's every night.
Do you think Manchester toughened you up?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, we're different, aren't we? There's just something about the culture. I mean, you're from there. I can actually talk to you and you can resonate with what I'm saying. When I speak to American journalists and other people on podcasts that talk about where I'm from, they're just like, oh, really? And I'm like, no, you don't know, though.
Not even been in the hood. Not even out in Moss Side or Gooch.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Well, that's where I train. I train in Champs Camp in Moss Side, and I have done for the last decade, do you know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't get much tougher than where I'm from. So, like, even when I'm going into these fights against tough guys, I'm like, well, it ain't soft where I'm from either. You know what I mean?
So tell me the future. What's the future for Brendan? What will you do once you retire? Will you become a property developer? That's my advice to you. Buy rental properties, do them up and sell them. Like this flat, this is such a beautiful flat. You show me pictures before and after. So if you did that in Manchester, Dubai, you could, let's say if you invested £1 million in property, whether it's in Dubai or in England, you can make 30% return. And it's safe. Heads are win, tails are don't lose. You just need to build a team around you. Heads are win, tails are don't lose. Yeah. I've never heard that one. I'll be stealing that one. Well, I've already started on it. I've already got a few now. I've got a handful, and I'm always looking for more. And obviously, I did this place myself. It was, you think fighting's hard, mate? Try property renovations. When you go into a fight, let's go back fighting. When you go into a fight, brother, you said you pray before you go in a fight. You pray for yourself, pray for an opponent. Yeah, of course. And then also, has that kept you disciplined and focused? Because if you look at the Muslim fighters, because I grew up as a Muslim, when you look at a Muslim fighter like Khabib, he's a big name in the Muslim world because people say he's very disciplined and determined. Dana White said, I saw in his interview once, I think on TikTok, he said that he believes that Muslim fighters, they don't chase women, they don't party, and they're just focused on their family and their training and discipline. Do you think religion plays an important part in fighting? I mean, I don't think religion per se, but I think the person, it matters person to person, because you can get someone that's really strict, Muslim or Catholic or Jewish or whatever, and then you get people that don't take it as serious, don't you? So they do take it very serious, Khabib and people from that side of the world, and it definitely benefits them in fighting because everything that goes with it is beneficial for fighting. Because they won't be going to Ibiza like you and I. They won't be going out chasing women, stuff like that. No. They're just focused. They're just focused, and that's why that side of the world has done extremely well within this sport. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the most religious person. I'm not, but I definitely believe in a higher power, and there's something out there, and I've been very blessed in my life, and whatever or whoever it is, thank you. That's all I say, whatever it is, we all believe our own things. And when I'm praying before the fight, I know that the energy is listening to me. So I say to whatever it is or whoever it is, thank you. Thank you for all this. Thank you for everything you've given me. I don't want to hurt this other person. Like, this person's just trying to feed his family. That's all he's trying to do. He doesn't hate me. Some do, but 90% of them. We shake hands, we have a laugh before it. I see you in there. He wins or I win, and then we go our separate ways. We both get paid, and then we do what we want then. And it's like, I definitely think certain values from certain religions really do help some fighters, but not always. I truly believe it's the person and the discipline and how much they actually want to be the best. Good. So I think I agree with you at that point, is that there's a bigger force out there. Yeah, definitely. And dealing with a lot of fighters, like I've seen the Muslim fighters in the rings, boxers, like I'm friends with Americano, the Muslim fighters, they read the whole Quran before a fight. I think it's a superstitious thing as well. Are you superstitious? I respect every religion. I respect anyone that gets in the cage or the ring or anywhere, because you're literally walking in and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're walking out alive. There's a 90% chance you're going to get hurt. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I've never walked out of one not hurt at all. There's always something, isn't there? Yeah. Some are a lot worse than others. Like, twice I've pissed blood. Like, really? I've come out and pissed blood, yeah. I've had my nose broke I don't know how many times. Both my ears cauliflowered. Been concussed, I've been knocked out. I've broken an arm in a fight. I've broken a hand in a fight multiple times. You name it. I've been through the walls and the trenches in this sport.
So whatever and whoever it is that's looking after me, because I'm still here, I'm still smiling, I'm still competing, and still at the top of my game.
And also, Brendan, going back to our personal experiences, we partied together.
Yes.
And now I see you're very focused and determined. So talking to any young fighters, whether you're a boxer, MMA fighter, or any sport, how do you stay focused? Or even kids who are studying, let's say if someone's got an exam, they've got A-level exams or GCSEs, how do you stay focused? So for example, some kids or some fighter might be weak willpowered. On a Saturday, a friend might invite him, let's go out for a night out. But they might go out, but how did you say no and stay focused on your journey?
They just get nowhere. Without willpower and determination, it's pointless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if your mate rings you on a Saturday and you've got a fight in 2 weeks, then
he's not really a mate then.
Just forget it.
He's not really a mate either. A mate should understand.
Forget fighting.
Yeah.
I get 1 million invites daily.
Yeah.
I know what's important to me. Then people aren't going to pay my bills, are they?
Exactly.
When I get knocked out, or will even ring me when I get knocked out. Do you know what I mean? So I know what I've got to do, and I get my job done. There's a certain time, me and you've been out together. There's play time, and then there's work time. Right now, I'm in the middle of work time. Nothing gets in my way right now.
So you're focused, determined, yeah.
Like, what can make you more determined than a guy who wants to knock you out in front of everyone?
Let's say the prettiest woman in the world said to you, I'm in Dubai right now. On a Saturday night, I want to go out for lunch with your dinner to Zoom or Namos, wherever. What would you say to her when you've got a fight?
Bring me after the fight. After this date, I'm available. But right now, I'm busy.
Send her my number instead. So it's all about determination and focus.
There's a time and a place. You just said to me, he's an IP for with Scott and all that. Yeah, it was. And it was the day after the fight, and I let loose, man. I had the time of my life, and I put loads of memories in the bank, because at the end of the day, you get one life. You get one goal, and it's over, innit? So,
but some people like to do it when they retire. Some people say, well, I want to do it not now, I'll do it in a year, 2 years when I retire.
Yeah, but I've also been out with a lot of them people that say that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of undercovers.
Yeah.
People live the life behind closed doors.
So people talk rather than doing the action.
I can name people that talk that I've been out with. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
you're very genuine and
there's
honest.
absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You
have to have a battle, like you told me earlier before the podcast, that 90-10 rule. I like that rule.
90-10 always.
Do you do that with your diet and everything? Yeah.
90-10 always. I have a Sunday roast every Sunday, no matter what, there, and I have an apple pie pudding, apple crumble after, and I have done, right? Yeah, should I eat it? Should I eat it? I don't care. I've trained all week. I've ate clean all week. I've run mountains. I want that Sunday roast, and I'm having it. Good. And like, I believe in that 90-10 because it fills certain parts of you what get left out when you're so disciplined all the time. You know, as you get older as well, now 34, I don't train like I'm 21. You have to be very smart and wise by the way you train. And I've had that many hours in the octagon now, not minute, hours. I've been in there hours now. When you accumulate how long I've done over my career, so I just approach it way different than I did when I was 21. I was a lunatic back then. I'd be training all day and night. You wouldn't even see me. Like, I wouldn't even answer. I'd be running, like pitch black running through parks and that in Manchester. But now, I believe I'm in my prime. I've had 3 of my best performances back to back. And I properly learned my body, my mind, what it takes to get fit. And just when these fights get deep, like the last one was pretty close, round 1 and 2. And my coach, I love him, he sat me down and he goes, right, time to bring the dog out. And I went, sweet. And when he says that, it's like, right, it's a tight fight this, do you want to win? And then I just put it on him in the 3rd round and won. Good. Like, that's always in there. And then when it's time to pull it out, it'll get pulled out.
Good. That's the determination, but also how do you recover? Like you said, you've been hours of training. So today you were supposed to do 3 sessions today, didn't you?
Yeah.
You sent me a message. Then how do you recover from that? Sleep or in the cryo chamber? What do you do?
Sleep is always numero uno.
Yeah.
Sleep
said that in his interview.
Sleep is number 1, man. Like, forget your ice baths and all that.
But sometimes, what do you do when you can't sleep? Just take magnesium. Sometimes you want to sleep, but you might be thinking about work, about the contract, about your properties in Didsbury, Manchester, your properties in Dubai. How do you switch off?
I've been there sometimes. That does happen.
When you start thinking.
Now, do you know what I'll do? Yeah. Honestly, when I can't sleep, I know how important sleep is. Let's say I'm training with you at 9. Yeah. I'll text you at 11. Say, we're training at 10:30 now. Okay. I'm training at 11 now. Because I know how important that extra hour in bed is. And I'll just move it because I'm my own boss. Yeah. The pad man or whoever's coming to train with me, 90% of the time are paid. Yeah. So don't matter about that. They can move their times. They're there on the hour, aren't they? So they're like, sweet. Yeah. Or if I'm sparring someone, sorry mate, any chance you can push it back an hour? Yeah, sound. Then I'll wake up and I'll go, right. I don't always do it, but if I can't sleep and it's late and I've got to train tomorrow really hard, I won't go on 4 or 5 hours sleep. Like, it's detrimental. You're better off not doing it. I make sure I get the right sleep.
Good sleep, and then obviously hydration, good diet. And what about magnesium, cryotic chambers?
No, here is where the most recovery is, I believe. I believe 90% of problems in fighters' lives and training camps and athletes, it comes from the head. You build up the problems, bad relationships, bad friendships, all that, it's negative. And fighters, I've seen fighters in the gym looking at me, but they're not looking at me. They're not in the room because they've got so much going on. Yeah. So I just tell people...
Because fighting, 1 second concentration, if you just lose that focus, you get knocked out.
Well, my mates know me that well now. Yeah. It's 8 weeks of the fight. They don't ring me. They don't tell me I'm going for a beer and all that, or whatever that could distract me doesn't even get in the way anymore. I don't even put myself in them scenarios. I don't go near anything negative. I know I'm at the gym tomorrow at that time. Nothing gets in the way of me going to that gym at that. Nothing at all. Earthquakes, COVIDs, I'm at that gym, and I'm putting 110%, and I'm leaving there knackered. I'm coming home and I'm sitting in that bed, I'm resting, and then I'm going back and giving it 100% again in the evening, no matter what. No guys telling me, do you fancy just nipping an Amos for a scran? Yeah. Or should we go on a date? Or none of that's not even like, they just get rejected, like, shut up, just get aired. I'm that guy that airs people with conversations like that, because you are getting in the way of where I'm going. And that's how I've looked at it.
So basically, they're taking you off the railway track, you're going like this, those people are just distractions.
Do you know how you just explained it? That's exactly how I explain it. I'm like that, The goal's there. Loads of things is going to come towards this train. And I'm just like,
you're flicking them off.
Yeah, you have to. All right, you know what? I've got one.
Why not just turn the phone off?
I've got one world title now. I'll just take my foot off the gas and all that. And then he knocks you out in front of your mum, sat there ringside, and then what? And then you lose how many brain cells and all that? Nah, not me.
Good. I like that. Okay, one other thing, Brendan, because I know we're pushed for time. What will you do when you retire? Just property? What about, you could go into a Hollywood movie like Colin McGregor?
Well, it's...
You could do a movie, you're a good-looking lad.
Well, listen...
that other guy from Wigan, what's his name? The other fighter we spoke about earlier.
Michael Bisping.
Yeah,
he's from Clitheroe. You keep saying Wigan. You're throwing me off. Yeah.
Clitheroe,
You're throwing me off.
Yeah, from Clitheroe. He was in the movie as well.
Loads of movies. He's a good friend of mine, Mike, and he's really helping me, because he's the mentor to you. He's the pioneer. Mike Bisping is the pioneer. He was the first ever UFC champion from England. Yeah. And he's a stand-up fella. He's amazing on the mic. He's great with movies.
He's good on the mic,
He's tough as nails. He won a world title on one eye.
Yeah, I remember that title, Yeah,
man.
Ages ago,
one eye.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're hard, He blagged the eye test.
Really?
Yeah, he got someone else to tell me what it says. And then when the guy came in, he read it off and to win a world title. So you think I'm tenacious. Yeah. So I look up to people like him.
I saw that fight, I think.
He's an animal, mate.
How old is he now?
No idea.
But you could go into movies, though, couldn't
that's it. He's already put
loads of martial art movies you could go into.
He's helped me. He's opened a few doors already. I'm on his podcast regularly. He's got a massive following. And I'd say he's a mentor. Yeah, he is. And he's helping me out a lot. You know him as well. I know him. And
I met him with Audi in Panacea, actually.
Yeah. Panacea. Shout out to Panacea. Shout out to Joe Acker. The golden days are over in Manchester. They're over.
And Audi Attar.
Yeah.
My friend. He's
top
a good
guy.
Yeah. Based in a US.
Is that right? Yeah, LA, right? Orange County?
LA, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Iraqi gentleman.
Good peoples.
Yeah.
Good peoples.
So, Brendan, thank you so much for your time. What message would you like to give before we end the podcast to all the listeners, the followers? Any message you'd like to give to people?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Nabil's a very good friend of mine for a long time. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this with him. I've enjoyed every second of it. And big up the Manx. Make sure you tune in for my second world title in Riyadh the end of November. Peace.
And my request to all the followers and listeners who are watching this podcast, please pray that Brendan goes into the fight safely, comes out safely, winning the world title and getting that $1 million, because I want to make sure I invest that before I'm making a double it in property.